Hello, students. Good morning. Okay, so this morning we will continue on practical 3, PLSQL. So just a recap on what we have done yesterday, during yesterday's session. So we have looked at the basic PLSQL block structure, and then we have looked at the variables, constant declaration, and we also have tried a script on control statement, the if else. And then the last part we looked at yesterday is the stored procedure. Okay, stored procedure. So today we will be looking at exceptions and functions and local procedures. Okay, so just some recap on yesterday. What is PLSQL? And then the sections of PLSQL block. Okay, we have the header, we have declaration section, we have execution and exception section, and we have looked. I hope you have tried this one. Okay, yesterday I give you time to do this on your own. If you have not done this yet, try to type this script. Um, is my voice clear? I'm not feeling really well actually this morning. You can hear me, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, so next we have the control statement. We have the if else. Yesterday we tried this if conditional statement to view the date if it falls on weekend. And then look this one just for your information. You can also do this in PLSQL. And then stored procedures. We have this stored procedure. So just recap what is this stored procedure. This procedure is we can create a procedure using PLSQL, typically to store it in a catalog in the catalog. Okay, to store it in the catalog, and you can use it to perform some scripting. Okay, so this for this one, yesterday that we did, we receive an input parameter, which is the product code from the previous table we created, table products. Okay, so what happened here is what happened in this procedure is that it runs a calculation on increasing the MSRP by 10%, and then the the result that we get from this procedure is written into the new table we created, which is the price audit table. Okay, so we have looked at this, and then remember to always set output server on if you have this script in your procedure. Okay, every time you have this, you want to view output in your SQL class, you need to set server output on. Okay, so today we will be doing these exceptions. So I will need you to open your SQL class and type this exception. Okay. For this exception, this one is it's a procedure, but we include exception in this procedure. So this one we will be referring to another table that we created previously, the orders table, So make sure you have orders table in your database. Okay. So this one you have, it's similar. See, it's it's a procedure. Okay, this name, and then we will be inputting the customer number from orders. Okay, it will check with this orders table, and it refers to the customer number, where customer number is the customer number that we insert in this uh, when we execute this procedure. So if the customer only made one purchase, this one will appear on your screen. Okay, so uh, actually first before the exception happen, this one will appear. Sorry, I forgot to mention this one. So check if the customer has made any purchases. So you execute this procedure. You call the customer number. You input the customer number, and then check if the customer has made any purchases. So it will check from orders according to the customer number. Okay, so if there is a purchase, the customer has only made one purchase. Or if there's no data found from orders, it will output the customer has not made any purchases. Okay, so another exception here we have when too many rows. Means too many rows is when there is more than one purchase made. When there is more than one purchase made, so our procedure will give output of the customer has made more than one purchases. Okay, so now open your SQL Plus. So you type in the code. Okay, so please do not copy paste. Typing the command will help you to understand the command better. Okay, so you can please type the procedure. So as usual, login. First thing, if you want to run a procedure and you have the DBMS output line, so you make it a habit to set server output on. Okay, so that you don't have problem later on. Sorry, if my voice not clear, I'm not feeling good. Have to type again? Yes, you need to type every new session. If you close this SQL Plus, you need to type it again. Okay, Calvin? Okay, so type in the procedure. So you can refer to the PDF or you can follow me. Please raise hand after you finish typing, yeah? After you create the procedure. We wait for the rest first, yeah? Okay, so I think we can continue. So anyone else still typing? 10 of you already. So I think we can proceed now, yeah? Okay, so after we created the procedure, we want to make sure that we have the orders table. Okay, so type description orders. So you should have this table created during our first practical. Okay, do you have this? Compilation error. Maybe you type wrongly, Kelvin. If you already try to type for this for the purpose of testing, for if you get compilation error, you just copy paste lah for this time. I also got compilation error just now. Forgot to put S here. So you can just copy paste for now, okay, Kelvin? So that you're not left behind. Okay. So make sure you have this table in your database. So next, what you want to do is you want to get a customer ID, a customer number from this order. So you just um, select customer number. You want to view what customer number is available in this order. So this one we take from, if we get the customer number from orders, means this one are those with orders. Okay, so you can pick one. You can pick one from here. So I will pick one for one. Okay, one for one. This customer may purchase more than one. Okay, more than one purchase. Okay, so let's see what happened when we execute the procedure we created just now using customer number one for one. Okay, so execute the name of the procedure, PRC. So you can pick any other customer number if you like. Okay, so one for one. This check if the customer has made any purchases. So the exception, the procedure is run, and because there is more than one row, more than one purchase. That's why it gives you this this output. The customer has made more than one purchases. Okay, so if you want to, I give you 5 minutes to try execute the procedure using numerous several number of customer number. So this one is from table orders. You can also check from, you can also select customer order from a customer number from table. We have customers, select customer number from, okay, so this one are all the customer numbers. So some of these has not made any purchase yet. So you can try some customer number from this customer number table. Okay, you can try. So example here, this is an example of customer that did not make any purchases. Okay, so you can try. I give you 5 to 10 minutes to test your procedure. Okay. Okay. Can you continue? Okay, so we continue to the next part, user-defined exception. So what is this user-defined exception? So in PLSQL, it allows you to define your own exceptions according to the need of your program. Okay, so this is another way for you to include exception in your PLSQL. So this user-defined exception, it must be declared and then raised explicitly. Okay, so it uses either this rest, we have this rest statement, we use rest statement, or we have another procedure, um, the BMS standard rest application error, but that one we don't use for now. We will be using only rest exception, rest statement for this user defined exception. So we will type this again. Okay, we type this. This one is to check, this procedure is to check purchase of using customer number. So the it's this procedure define v total purchases as number, and this uh, variable as exception. Okay, so you begin the procedure. So if customer number is less than zero, okay, it's less than zero, then rest is invalid number. Okay, so you will go to the exception. Okay, so means if you key in the customer number as less than one, less than zero, sorry, means negative number, it will then go to, it will raise an exception with this name. So this one will refer to, yeah, exception. We'll check in the procedure, check the exception. So when you check this one is fulfilled, the customer number that you key in is negative number. So the procedure will give you an output of customer number cannot be negative. Okay. So if this one is not valid, it will go to the next one. It will select count count all count all the purchases and put put into the v total purchases, this one, which is a number. So it will get the information from orders table, okay, orders table, where customer number is equal to the customer number that we key in here, right? So then what happen next is the procedure will give us output that the customer has made how many purchases, the total purchase from orders, and then it will also give us an input way telling us that there is no exception being raised. Okay, means if this one is not fulfilled, okay, if the customer number is more than zero, it will go to the next statement. Okay, from here up until here. Okay, so if it's negative, okay, if it's negative, you key in negative customer number, it will raise the exception which is declared here. So it will read the exception and give us an output of this. Okay, so now go back to your SQL Plus and type the procedure for this one. We want to test the procedure. So as usual, raise hand after you finish typing in the procedure. Please don't try not to copy paste. If you have error, then you can copy paste. Okay, you try to type yourself first. Okay. Yes, Ken Calvin. So fast, you Ian. Wait for the rest. Okay, you can do that also, Elvin. But please don't just try not to copy paste because it will you will not know what the command for if you copy paste. You can do that also. Thank you, Alvin, for your suggestion. Okay, so I think we can continue. Thank you. Okay, so now we want to test this procedure. So before we proceed to execute this procedure, you need to know your customer number. Okay, but of course you can try to key in negative value, and you can try to key in any number from the customer number. Okay, so we try the first one. We try the negative first. Okay, so execute. We we key in execute. We key in. We call a negative number for customer number. Check purchase. So customer number. Try put any negative value. Okay, so it because the procedure is run, so I put in -122. So customer number cannot be negative because it's running the procedure using exception from the beginning. Because the customer number that we key in is negative, so it raised this exception, so it goes to exception and give us the this output. Okay, so let's try another valid customer number 141. Okay, so if you can see here, this is the output. So the customer has made V total purchase, so it counts all the purchases that is made by this customer number from the table orders. Okay, so that's why you get 26 purchase. So basically, it calculated, it count how many orders from the table orders from orders table. Okay, so I give you 5 minutes to just execute this procedure to using other customer number. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Okay, can you continue?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so we have done the user exception, user-defined exception. So other than using this exception or in this race, other than using race, so in Oracle as well, we have this REST application error statement. Okay, so this is a special built-in procedure that's provided by Oracle. So this is how you should use this statement. So it will allow programmers to create meaningful error messages for a specific application, and it works with user-defined exception. So this is an example of user-defined exception. Okay. This one, okay, you can ignore this one because our chapters only until chapter 9, if I'm not mistaken. So this one was previous one. So this one you can ignore. Okay, we don't have this. And also this one also, we don't have this. Okay, so you can ignore this one. So this is just an information or reading for you to about this REST application error. Okay, so for this one, I want you to try it later on your own. So this one we will not be doing in this in this practical. So this one you can do after we finish class today. So before we proceed to the next part, okay, yeah, this one. This one should be begin. Okay, this one should be begin. So later you can try. And then we also have exception underscore init. So this one another it's a pragma special instruction to the PLSQL compiler. Okay, so it associate with Oracle error number and with the name of the user defined error. Okay, so just recap. User defined user defined exception is the one that we create our own. Okay, so in your assignment you can also use exception, create your own user defined exception so that it shows that you use this function in your assignment. Okay, try to include this in your assignment. So this one you do later. So before we proceed to this one, we take 5 minutes break before we proceed to the last part. Okay. Okay, can we continue? All right, so we have come to the last part of this practical. So the last part is functions and local procedures. So what is this function and local procedures? So a local module, any local module in SQL, in PLSQL, it's referring to the procedure. Okay, it's referring to the procedures or the function that is defined in the declaration section. Okay, so here, if you notice here, declaration, we have the procedure being defined in under this declaration section. So that's what we call a local module. Okay, so this module is considered as local because it's defined only within the parent PLSQL block. So this is a block. Okay, so we define a procedure inside a PLSQL block. Okay, so this one, the first one, this one is a function that we created for this local procedure. Okay, so now I want you to I want you to execute or compile. Okay, sorry, not execute. You compile this function, the first part, compile this, and also the next PLSQL block. Okay, so as usual, after you finish, you rest hand. Which one you are doing now, Calvin? We this not this one, yeah. This one is I don't no we are not doing this now. Yes, this one is typo. It's begin. We are doing this now. Number 6. Yeah. Create function and you declare and you type the PLSQL block. Okay? Yes, Ian. It will retrieve and return the original data type. Yes. Okay. I, if you are still typing, you can continue later. So we will discuss on the output first. Okay, you can continue after this. So what you have done, what you have created in these function and local procedures, you have created a function. Okay, created a function with the name number orders. So this one will be called in our PL SQL block. Okay. So because this is local procedures, you define the procedure inside your declaration in your PL/SQL block. So here you define a procedure named get employee details, and then you have the employee number. In means you put in the value, and then from this value you will get the employee name, uh, and also the status. Okay, so then you begin the procedure. The procedure, you select first name and put it into employee name from employees, where you refer back to the employee number. Okay, and then we have exception here. When no data found, then the status will be false. So that's the uh, procedure that we declare. And then here is the declare the execution. So you key in the employee ID as this. Okay, so means you in you provide the input to this execution. So next, the statement will refer to this employee ID. So it refers back to this get employee details, the procedure. So it will run this procedure. So the employee number in is the 1611. So it will get the ID, the first name, and also the status. So your procedure will give an output of the employee ID and also the first name. Okay. Else it will, if it did not found the employee ID, it will give this output. Okay, employee ID not found. Okay, and then the customer number 496. The customer number is 496 in the orders table. Orders table. So it will check this, it will check with the function that we created previously. So it will calculate the number of order by the customer, by this customer. Okay, so the number orders, it will be calculated by this function. So it calculates the function, so it count from orders. Okay, it counted the orders where the customer number is referring to the customer number. Okay, so that's why after you have finished typing in all your the procedure, you will get first by equal plus. Oh, okay. So you should get this. So the 1611 is the one that you key in parameter in, and then parameter out ND, the first name ND, and then you have the number of orders. Okay, so you run the function that you created here, number order. So you run the function, and then you will get the output of number of orders by customer 496 is 4. So this 4 is calculated from this function that we created previously. So it counts all order by this customer number. Okay, that is that is in here, in here. All right, so you should get this. So you can play around with the statement. My voice is getting worse, so I let you do this customer number, and you try to change this and try to change this as well and see what you get. Okay, so I'll let you do your own testing for this procedure, and after you finish, please do try this one, the procedure account status. Okay, you try to do this also. Okay, can you do that? I'm not feeling good. Sorry. Okay, so after you finish playing around with this function and local procedures, do this one, and then you can proceed to the next one, exercises. So if you still have time, you try to do this exercise. I can give you the answer, but I need you to try to do it first. You try to do it first. If you like, if you're stuck, I can give you the answer. Okay, so you can WhatsApp me personally, or you can ask from the WhatsApp group after you try to do this exercise. Okay, so I let you do your own thing now. Okay, please play around with this and do the previous uh, scripting. I will be here if you have questions. Thank you. Um, Ian, is a better. It's not a bad practice. It depends to your. It depends on how you want to create your database. It's not bad practice or good practice. It depends to the programmer. Depends to you which one you want to use. So usually for if you want to use local, you want to use local. That means you don't want other block to call your procedure. So if you do it separate, um, function, you're talking about the function or the procedure? Hold on lah, both. Um, so means for this one lah, functions and local procedures inside one procedure. It's not bad practice. If you usually why you want to do it separately, because you want this function to be able to be called from another procedure or another PLSQL block. So depending on um, how you want to implement your database. So if you want to reuse the same function for other PLSQL block other than this one, other than the one that you created, the local procedure, so you can make it separate, or you can make it in one declaration, or in one PLSQL block. Did I answer your question, Ian? Yeah, because like for this one, right, you include in the you want to make it local because you will not use it for other PLSQL block. So it means you just run it one time. You don't have to like execute another procedure. So it saves time also if you use this local procedure. Yeah, so depending on how you design your database. Okay, Ian, thank you. Thank you for your question. Okay.
Yes, Noel.
If I run the the one, the number six.
Number six. Yes.
So if I run the whole query, and it always come up the compilation error. But if I run separately, I run the function first, then I run the procedure second, then it
Mm.
successfully. So so next time I have to run it separately.
Mm, um, your question I think is the same like Ian's question just now. So it depends on how you want to create your database. So if you want to run separate means you want your function to be called by other PLSQL block at this also. You want it to be able to be used by other procedure. But if you run it locally, if you like declare it locally, means you only want it to run for that particular application only. So if you want to reuse it for another, for other PLSQL block, so you do it separate.
Oh, so just now, Miss run the whole code. Is it successful?
Uh, what you mean?
The
Run, run separate or run? This
run
one is
one go,
sorry.
run the whole thing one go.
Yeah, successful.
Oh, because mine
Yours
is not.
not. You
Yeah.
got error.
Yeah.
What's your error? The function. So these two actually it's separate. This one you sorry, the function is on its own and procedure is on its own. So this one you actually declare function separately from the procedure. Only the procedure is in local. So function here, this function here, the purpose is to do usually to do calculation. So from this PLSQL block here, you declare the procedure inside the PLSQL block because you only want this procedure to be used by this particular PLSQL block.
Oh,
It
the
will,
one.
you will not be able to call to execute this procedure outside of this PLSQL block.
Oh, okay. So because I thought the one the need to combine the query, the top.
This one, the function
Oh yeah.
you combine inside
Yeah.
means you declare you create this function inside this declaration. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Then you get error.
Yeah.
Because for this one, because you call the function from this one usually if you like mention like this, right? You like call it from you call this function from the previous compilation of your database of your session. So that maybe that's why because that's why you get error. Anyone else try to combine the function inside the declaration? Ian, did you try? So I think if you want to declare inside here, right, the function, maybe it's not like this anymore. You can try. Did you remove this one? Noel?
No.
Yes. Did you remove this one before you include the function inside here?
No.
No. You can try to remove that. Try to find, try to do your research on how to include function in PLSQL block. But from what I know, you call a function outside of your PLSQL block because function is usually for you to make calculation. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for your attendance this morning, and thank you for doing the scripting, the program, the database scripting and statement. I hope you understand what we have done today. So I hope you will try to do the exercises. So for me to know that you understand the this practical three, I will open assignment submission for practical three. So please submit your output for the activity that we have done since yesterday. Okay, so I will open assignment submission in Google Classroom after this. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a nice day ahead. Thank you. Okay, welcome.